Mr. Lawrence, thanks very much for your time. So you are encouraging the sector to take advantage of this opportunity to trade in essentials at this time. But my question to you is, what's been the reaction thus far from members of your federation?
Well, the Federation members were very involved in the discussions that we did have with government. Government did ask us for a view on what would be appropriate for the South African consumer in dealing with the challenges of winter and some of the other consumer challenges which were different in the extended lockdown. And so we did make a number of suggestions. We did add into that list. And we also understood the importance of having the kind of list which could be accountable and clear, even for just a short time, that lockdown level 4 would be.
Now, your statement mentions robust engagement with the Minister of Trade and Industry. I want to ask you the question, what were some of the undertakings from your side in as far as the strict health protocols?
Well, in conjunction with the landlords of the various shopping facilities that we function in as retail, we've committed to a number of first-level screening protocols especially for our staff. We've committed to a number of sanitary protocols, and you see it typically with the malls. It happens at all the stores. And there are very different ways in which a clothing retailer would manage the movement of consumers around a store as compared to a food retailer or a pharmacy, for example. And so quite a lot of activity needed to go into that, quite a bit of training had to go in for our staff. So we are seriously committed to assisting government in any way we can to manage transmission risks at this time.
What will the complexities be of operating under these conditions, Mr. Lawrence, as the stores slowly open up now?
Well, it's a learning curve for all of us. It's a learning curve for those of the retailers, the management teams. It's a learning curve for our staff and for our consumers. The experience of shopping for clothing has changed, and that's a good thing. As our president said last night, we do things and we have to learn to do things very, very differently.
In what way? I'm quite interested to know, in what way will the shopping experience change?
Well, firstly, the product line for the more stringent levels will, as we've just seen for level 4, will be a little more defined, a little more definite. We still make sure that people will be very fashionably dressed. We assure you of that. There's a lot of opportunity there. We need to make sure there is appropriate social distancing. That's very different to what used to occur before. The way in which we manage product, different stores have different protocols, for example, about how you're going to cope with your sizing challenges and styling challenges. And so these are all going to be new ideas that come into the way we do business.
Can I just ask you a quick question? I'm sorry to interrupt you. There's been a lot of talk, particularly on social media, around the itemization, if you like, of what can be bought and what cannot be bought by consumers. Why was that?
So what we understood with government was, and they asked us for a view, is that one doesn't want a whole free-for-all. You really don't want a situation where everyone's crowding in. Look, it's about social distancing in the first instance is about managing numbers. And so you don't want a free-for-all. You want a fair and a suitable mix of options for the consumer. You want to be able to meet the challenges of warmth and comfort at this time, but you also want people to be able to be fashionable. But what we don't want is huge sales going on of product that isn't really season appropriate, but is more trading appropriate. There will be a time and a place for that to happen in the future of our retail experience and our consumer experience. But right now, we need to be smart.
Just as a final question, and very briefly, if you can, please, the clothing industry or the retail industry, has it seen a lot of retrenchment?
So we've worked certainly within, there are obviously challenges for all businesses. In the retail side, what we think is there will be a little bit of damage, but we don't know the exact numbers yet. We certainly are seeing ourselves as riding it out, and we'll have to wait to see how consumer numbers go. On the manufacturing side, we've been in close contact with the manufacturing union and a number of the manufacturers, because we do have a concern about the capacity of our local manufacturing sector as we gear up into new season. Summer is just around the corner, and then we're going to have new lists out if we're still in level 4. And if we don't have lists, we have new product on shelves. So some fun challenges there, but the great thing about clothes is everyone keeps wearing something and wants to change the way they look and how fashionable they are.
Michael Lawrence, I do thank you very much for your time. He is the Managing Director at the National Clothing Retail Federation.